Okay, good morning. It's Monday. It's the last Monday of the year that I'm in the office. Not the last Monday. I had to think about that. No. Back in the office after about 3 weeks out on the road. I was in Chicago, I was in Iceland, a couple of days off over the long weekend in South Africa, and I'm back now. So in the office we have Tanya, Emma, who's down there, Candace, Judy's in tomorrow, Laura, and Jono. That's it. Everybody else is on a break, which is well deserved, and I hope they have a great time. I'm back. I'm catching up on all the loose ends from the last few weeks, and also heavily working towards next year. I am going to be sharing more on that in the due course, but yeah, that's kind of the focus for the week. Wednesday I'm not in the office, but the rest of the week I'm here. And then it's Christmas, can you believe it? I was saying to someone yesterday, it doesn't really sound like or feel like it yet. I had these glimpses so far. I was traveling the one morning in Vik, the small town in Iceland. We had to leave early, and the sun only comes up at 11 this time of year there. So we got to breakfast at 8 o'clock. It's pitch dark outside, and I walked into the restaurant. They only open at 8. And they had the big-ass Christmas tree in the corner, and there's these soft piano Christmas tunes playing. There was a moment where I thought, like, okay, this is it. This is cool. And then once or twice when I was going through airport, and driving back from Reykjavik to Keflavik Airport, driving these parks where they've got all the lights up and stuff, and there was a moment. And I think once or twice also traveling, just when you're sitting quiet and you see something. But back home, I don't know, it doesn't really feel like Christmas yet. Maybe it'll happen. Then not going away for the festival. I might go for a few days here and there, but not going away as such. I have things I want to do and get done. So that's it, hey. I went for a walk this morning and did some mobility. So sore, geez. The last couple of weeks, couple of days of training back's been great, really, really good. Getting out of my own way and getting shit done. For those of you following along, you'll know. If you know, you know. Is that anything? But one thought I had, and I posted my first images on Instagram since about July. I posted a 10 carousel images from Iceland. And the caption went a whole bunch deeper. I'm going to probably record a podcast on the Wild Eye podcast immediately after this video, talking about how getting out of your own way photographically is also a good idea. Because not having posted for a while and allowing my photography to work on the side and grow, I know where I want to take it. I've tried new things. But a lot of people, if I look around on Instagram, and I've done some scrolling over the last few days, looks exactly the same. There's no change to your photography. There doesn't seem to be any growth. You seem to have stagnated. If I'm saying you, because if you want to take it personally, you can. Hopefully it gets you going. But you have to get out of your own way photographically as well to decide that something needs to change. Because your ego is going to keep you, no, it's working, I'm getting likes, I'm not going to try anything new. Yes, but it's getting boring. So I think a lot of people out there, and I've done this. I decided to get out of my own way and just shoot what my creative voice asks me to shoot. Too many people out there, it seems, are a little bit stuck and stagnant because nothing's changing and they're forcing it. It's more of the same. Here's another leopard, here's another elephant. Yeah, but it all looks the same. If you're happy to stay the same in photography and life, I feel sorry for you because you're missing out on so much. I really do. And the caption, which I'm going to be focusing on more in the new year, is writing captions to my images if I do post that's deeper, that has some value, and hopefully makes you think. Because isn't it boring as fuck to keep on posting the same stuff again and again, and it looks the same and it feels the same? You should be growing as a photographer. Your things should be changing. There should be noticeable growth. If it isn't, then try something different, shoot something different, process differently. But I'm seeing a lot of the same stuff, which is quite sad, really. I've also then, I had a moment where I've been using Procreate or Create Pro something on my iPad to jot down notes for a project I'm working on. And I'm doing a lot of research and reading and kind of consumption of content in order to get some information and inspiration and ideas that I can panel beat into the thing I'm creating. And the one thing that came up for me is, and this I suppose it goes for photography as well, but for life, there are people out there, right, giving advice. First of all, let's start with young people 22, 23-year-old life coaches who want to tell you how to run your life. Your brain hasn't even fucking stopped developing. So you're still changing. How can you at that age help someone? You can inspire them and you can motivate them. But when you start going deep on what life is about and what someone should be doing, you haven't walked the walk yet. You haven't lived yet. Yes, you might have been through a bit, but I have a bit of an issue with that. So let me change your life. I'm 22 years old. No, why don't you first finish developing, and when you're 25, 26, then start living your life. Again, it swings back to me, to Jay, I think it's Jay Maisel, photographer from New York. One of his students asked him, how can I be a more interesting photographer? He says, live a more interesting life. Do that first. Yes, there's education, there's experience. Some people have it in their DNA to help. But I strongly believe that someone that age needs to first live their life. There it is, I've said it. But more than that, if you look at a lot of people who are offering advice, and whether it's financial or mental or physical or whatever the case is, they are speaking from a position of authority and where they have everything. Someone who is telling you how to make money, but they're sitting on a bank account of $172 million. Yes, I get that's how you got there, but now you're sitting there all fancy. People can't really relate to you. People can't relate to, oh, I'm sitting in my big fucking Lamborghini and I am telling you how you should do this and you should buy this for $10,000. Big ass disconnect. I think the same thing happens with fitness, is you get these fitness influencers are the fucking worst. But they will tell you how to do X, Y, and Z, but they only do that. They only train all the time. They only take all the steroids all the time. They only eat well. Normal people can do the things that they say they should do. It's not going to work because it's a different recipe. So yes, we listen to them and you look up to them, but the advice that they're giving isn't really real because they live a different world. They live in a different world. The same thing with coaching. And this is one of the things that I'm working with and on is and I've said this to some people, I won't expect any of my clients to try any protocol or any exercise that I have not done myself yet, because I believe that's an important thing. Look, it makes me better, which is amazing. But any exercise, my clients, you listen to this, everything I've asked you to do, I have done. And I'm working through new ones. Some of them don't really apply to me because it might be based on something else, but I will still have gone through that process because I believe it's important. It keeps it authentic. And a lot of the advice, we look at people, if you look at like your Joe Rogans, he interviews people who are very exceptional. David Goggins, for example, right? Reading his book now, good book, super extreme guy, but it doesn't apply to everybody because he's an outlier. So it's very difficult for us normal people to relate to some of these people. And we look at them and say, yeah, but you're different. And people, oh, you've got to do this for weight loss and that for nutrition and this. Yeah, but look at your life. Look at where you are preaching from. Those people don't struggle with weight loss issues or being obese issues. Very, very few of them have actually been in a situation where they've turned their life around. They've come from a fitness background all their life. They've had 6-packs and 8-packs and fucking 12-packs and whatever they have. Since they were young, they've maintained it. They sell steroids and, okay, maybe a bit harsh, but they sell, some of them do, but they do sell supplements on the side, and that's what they do. So their physique is aimed at selling you shit, but they don't know what it's like to struggle to lose that weight that you're struggling to lose. People who are these young coaches, they want to tell you how to deal with your anxiety and your depression. Theirs is different. It's not based on yours. They can tell you this is what works for me, but it doesn't translate. And I think maybe that's it, translate. There's a lot of advice and things happening online, which, and I know for me, I'm talking for myself, I struggle to relate to some of them because it's not real. It's not real. I'm thinking of this one, I can't think of her name now, but she's an influencer out of the US somewhere. And she travels the world, and I mean, it's decent looking. And she's got sponsorships for journals and for this and for that and what have you. But if you look at her, she's like, oh, you got to write every morning because you're going to feel so much better. But she shows you a picture of her writing in her journal up on some fucking mountain with white doves flying around and her in this nice outfit. I'm like, if I'm going to journal, I'm going to do it at my home with a fucking generator from next door making a noise, the dog barking, I just spill my coffee. That's when I'm journaling. It's not real. The stuff that they make us believe, is not real, and I've got a problem with that because I try and not be that. Like I said, I'm working on a project for next year, and this is a nice off time coming because I'm bringing a lot of momentum in. Whenever I travel, there's good things that happen here. But the people we take advice from needs to be someone who's walked that exact same road as you. Yes, we can get advice from a personal trainer who's never been obese, that's never been fat, they've always been in shape. They can give you advice, but you can't, if it gets to a point where you really push, the way that they push you then is not going to be based on the things that you deeply down need to hear. Someone like that won't be able to help you to get out of your own way. You need to be able to relate to someone. Someone, if you're looking at mental health, someone who's kind of been there, that's gone through that and is still going through that, and that they've learned things that work in the real world, not what a book says. Someone who has gone through the whole range of physical and health, what's the word, gamut. You've gone through the entire arc from being overweight to fit to back, do it again, injure, get back. I just think it's too easy to give advice online these days. But what I'm seeing, and I don't know if I'm right here, you can tell me what you think, it's very difficult to relate to some of them. The finance guys, the fitness guys, and a lot of the mental health coaching type of stuff. I'm struggling to relate to it because they make it seem that they're in this beautiful utopia, and if you do what they tell you, you can join them there. First of all, I don't want your fucking utopia. I want my own one. Maybe that's a starting point. But yeah, my holiday therefore coming up. The office is closing on Friday. Well done. From a coaching point of view, I'm doing the things that I expect my clients to do. I'm working through them, and it's a great journey of self-discovery, if you will, and I take value from it. But that's a big deal. Is in order to get out of your own way, you might need someone to help you. But if they haven't been able to get themselves out of their own way by doing the things they ask you to do, I don't think it's going to work. I really don't. Okay, this is carrying on for a while. I need to go get some work done, get this one live, and I will chat to you guys in the next few days. This is, if I must recall, I think it's number 199. I'll do one more this week of morning coffee, and then I need to change this thing up again. 200 will be the last one, but I'm looking at something new because it's evolved from, it used to be morning with coffee, right, every morning. But I've done this in the evenings with a cigar, with whiskey on a beach. So I need something else. I need the narrative to change so that I can double down on the value that I bring, because that's my goal. I'm going to stop talking now and get to work. You guys have a great day, wherever in the world you are. Good morning, good evening, and good night. Stay safe. Don't forget to be awesome. Bye for now.